Hello, dear students. Good morning. In earlier class, we have discussed about the um, arbovirus and Japanese encephalitis. That is also arbo caused by arbovirus. That is the arthropod-borne virus. Here, we will discuss in details about the other viral disease that is transmitted by arthropod members, that is the mosquito Aedes aegypti, and the disease name is hemorrhagic fever, or the very popularly this disease is known as dengue. Hope you all have heard about the dengue fever. So let's start. Dengue is an arthropod borne virus, belongs to the Flaviviridae and genus Flavivirus, and the virus is transmitted from infected people to healthy persons through female mosquito, that is the Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopidus. But mostly Aedes aegypti play a very important role in transmission of the virus. These both mosquito, that is aegypti and albopidus, are found very frequently in the tropical and subtropical region. So definitely this type of disease mostly occurs in those area, those region, those country where this carrier will be available. That is the Aedes aegypti and Aedes albopidus, because without the transmission of the virus through this female mosquito, dengue cannot occur. Most of the case cannot occurs, but there are very few reports that reveals that there are some other reasons that can transmit the virus from infected person to the healthy person, like the blood transfusion and etc. But most of the cases of the disease that has been reported are caused by the biting of Aedes aegypti or Aedes albopidus that have already a very good load of viral population inside the intestine of the virus. Okay, structure of the dengue virus is spherical enveloped virus and approximately 40 to 60 nanometer in the diameter. Dengue virus has single stranded positive sense RNA, and the nucleocapsid is covered by lipid envelope. Okay, here you can see the complete structure of the virus. Here you can see the lipid layer, capsid, and this portion indicates the matrix, and this is the, you can see here the thread like structure, that is the single stranded positive sense RNA. So definitely this RNA is positive sense. So definitely you remember the RNA, positive sense and negative sense RNA. That is, positive sense RNA have a tail at the 5 prime end, and had a cap at 5 prime end and a tail at 3rd prime end of the genome. But in the case of dengue virus, the dengue virus positive sense single stranded RNA lack the poly A tail at third prime. That means there is poly A tail will be absent at the third prime end, as like as unlike to the positive sense RNA of the other virus. Genome contains single open reading frame flanked by two untranslated region, 5 prime and 3rd prime regions. The 5 prime and 3rd prime terminal RNA sequence of the genome form large stem loop structure known as stem loop. Structural gene codes for core protein. This virus has 10 type of the protein. Among 10, the 3 is the structural gene and 7 is the non-structural gene. That means the structural gene codes for the protein that are used for the synthesis of the capsid, membrane associated protein and enveloped protein, but the remaining 7 non-structural protein that are used in the viral replications and that codes for the NS1, NS2A, NS2B, NS3, NS4A, NS4B and NS5. Among these, the NS5 is the RNA polymerase enzymes, and you know the function of the RNA polymerase enzymes. Without the RNA polymerase enzymes, the genome cannot be replicated. So that is the very important enzymes. Okay, capsid shape is the icosahedral and spherical shape. Envelope contains glycoprotein spikes which have hemagglutinin activity. In the last year, in the Dehradun, so there are some reports that reveals that these you can see here the न्यूज रिपोर्ट जैसे वायरस ने बदली संरचना डेंगू होने के बाद भी रिपोर्ट निगेटिव. You know, there are several cases in India and Dehradun and other regions that the after the diagnosis, the patients of the patients, the reports of the some cases may be negative, but the person is infected with the dengue virus. That occurs because virus can change their genetic structure. That means the mutation is occurring in the genetic structure of the virus that change the genetic makeup, and the facility that are available in our laboratory for the diagnosis, for the testing of the presence or absence of the virus cannot detect because the virus has changed their genetic structure. That's why the kit or the other technology are unable to detect the changed strain. So next here the serotype of the dengue. There are 4 serotype of the dengue virus has been designated, DEN 1, 2, 3 and 4. Recently F51 has also been described from the Malaysia, and as I told you that the other serotypes may be detected in the future because the virus are continuously changing their genetic structure. Mode of transmission is most of the case occurs through the female Aedes aegypti or Aedes albopictus. In order to transmit the dengue between persons, mosquito must feed the blood of patients during 5-day period. That means the after the infection of a healthy persons, um, the persons become positive for the dengue, and during the first um, during that times, the if the mosquito will bite uh, to the infected persons, the virus will enter in the intestine of the mosquito, and inside mosquito virus requires additional 8 to 12 days incubation period before it can be transmitted to the healthy period. That means the it does not means that if the virus will bite to the infected person, and then again the mosquito will bite to the healthy persons and the virus can be transmitted. That is not possible, because the mosquito also requires 8 to 12 days. That means that you can see the almost 2 week incubation period for the successful infection of the dengue virus to the healthy persons. So डेफिनेटली अगर कोई वायरस एक हेल्दी पर्सन्स को काटता है, जो कि तुरंत ही थोड़ी देर पहले ही वो किसी इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन्स को बाइट किया है, काटा है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वह डेंगू से इन्फेक्टेड हो जाएगा हेल्दी पर्सन्स, क्योंकि वायरस को इंटेस्टाइन जो मस्क्यूटो का बॉडी है उसके अंदर वो ऑलमोस्ट 18 टू 12 डेज का इंक्यूबेशन पीरियड चाहिए होता है फॉर द सक्सेसफुल transmission. The dengue virus mixed with the saliva of the mosquito and transmitted intradermally during the biting. Okay. In the rare case, dengue is transmitted through the blood transfusion, organ transplant, and from infected mother to the fetus. But the number of cases occurs due to these reasons are very few. So we can see that the virus can only transmit from the by the biting of the mosquito that have the virus from infected persons. Okay, here you can see the Aedes aegypti not only transmit the dengue virus from one infected person to the healthy persons human, but it also transmit the Zika virus, chikungunya virus, and yellow fever virus. That means the same mosquito can transmit these virus. That means that this mosquito play a very important role for the transmission of the virus from infected to the healthy person. So you can see in this image that this is the cycle that occurs for the successful transmission of the virus from infected to the healthy person. So if we will break these cycles, definitely the transmission will be stopped. And there is no any medicine, there is no any vaccines are available for the treatment of the dengue like disease. So if we will break this cycle, if we will stop the biting of the mosquito, if we will stop the growth of the this type of the mosquito, definitely we can control the dengue fever. So use of the mosquito net, don't use of the mosquito net, and you have to always take care in your home and outside your home that the water should not be long. Water should not be in cooler that are not used for the from the for the long times, and even some pots that have water and you have not changed your water for the long time. So by using this type of the very simple techniques, you can stop the growth of the Aedes aegypti, and definitely the cycle will be breaked. The cycle will be breaked. Um, uh, Cycle will be breaked, and definitely the dengue will not occur. So you can see here the dengue pathogenesis, and dengue virus after entering the body invades the local macrophages and multiply there. That means you can see here the virus will enter in the body, and it invades the macrophages. You know, macrophages are very important immune cells that protect our body from the several type of the antigens, and viremia develops within 24 hours. During this time virus travels throughout the body. Virus infected macrophage produce a number of signaling proteins such as interferon, which is responsible for many symptoms such as flu-like syndrome and pain. In severe case, viral load is very high and many vital organs are affected. Fluid from blood vessels starts to leak, but in the severe cases, not the always. This type of the problem occurs in the severe cases, and due to this dengue fever is also known as hemorrhagic fever. Fluid from blood vessels starts to leak out so that blood volumes decrease, resulting in low blood pressures. Decrease in blood pressures cause insufficient supply of the blood and oxygen to vital organ such as brain. Dengue also infects bone marrow, so that bone marrow cannot produce sufficient platelets. And you have heard that the in the patients of the dengue fever, the number of platelets uh, gradually decreases, and that is the indication of the dengue fevers. Since platelets are needed for the blood clotting, that is the very important parts for the blood clotting, dengue infection cause blood clotting defects and increase in the risk of the bleeding. Definitely platelets numbers are decreasing, so this type of the problems will occur. You can see here the how the mosquito bites. It bites in the epidermis region, and virus enters in the dermis region, where the activated mast cells, and you can see here the infected dendritic cells and macrophages that are produced through the blood uh, cells, that is the bone marrow. It After the infection of the dendritic cells and macrophages, it both the macrophages and dendritic cells moves towards the and enter in the lymphatic vessels. That's why the in the case of the dengue fever, the size of the lymph nodes becomes increased. Primary infection and secondary infection, that is the very important in case of the dengue, because you know there are several other virus are also present that belongs to the flavivirus, and that can infect to the human. So the primary infection is characterized by fever, break bone fever. That is the break bone fever, that does not mean the bone will be broken, that means the deep pain inside the bone. That's why this fever is also known as break bone fever. Retroorbital pain, that is the pain behind the eye, and flu-like syndromes. The person who is not previously infected with the flavivirus is termed as प्राइमरी इन्फेक्शन. अगर मतलब कि फ्लेविवायरस के किसी भी मेंबर से अगर कोई पर्सन इन्फेक्टेड नहीं हुआ है और फर्स्ट टाइम इन्फेक्ट हो रहा है, तो उसको हम बोलते हैं प्राइमरी इन्फेक्शन. और अगर वो ऑलरेडी किसी भी फ्लेविवायरस या डेंगू से अब पहले कभी हो चुका है, इन्फेक्टेड पर्सन हो चुका है, तो उसको हम बोलेंगे सेकेंडरी इन्फेक्शन, अगर वो सेकेंड टाइम इन्फेक्शन हो रहा है तो। प्राइमरी इन्फेक्शन में और सेकेंडरी इन्फेक्शन में एक और डिफरेंस है यहाँ पर कि रेशियो ऑफ डेंगू स्पेसिफिक IgM to IgG इज हाई, but in the case of secondary infection the rise in antibody titer, that ratio of IgM to IgG is the low. That is the difference between primary and secondary infection. Clinical manifestation, dengue fever is symptomatic or asymptomatic. कभी कभी सिम्टम्स होता भी है और सिम्टम नहीं भी होता है। मोस्ट ऑफ द केस में सिम्टम नहीं होता है और वो अपने आप कुछ दिन में ठीक हो जाता है। क्लिनिकल डिजीज ऑनसेट्स 4 to 6 days आफ्टर द इन्फेक्टिव मस्क्यूटो बाइट। सिम्टोमेटिक डेंगू इंक्लूड्स, अब कुछ तो सिम्टम्स हुआ और कुछ में सिम्टम्स नहीं हुआ, तो जो सिम्टम्स होता है वो 3 तरह के होते हैं। कौन कौन? क्लासिकल डेंगू फीवर, डेंगू हीमोरेजिक फीवर एंड डेंगू शॉक सिंड्रोम। 3 तरह के इसमें डेंगू होते हैं और यह ग्रेजुअली स्टार्ट में क्लासिकल डेंगू फीवर जो होता है ऑलमोस्ट समझो कि का ही सीवियर फॉर्म होता है डेंगू हीमोरेजिक फीवर एंड डेंगू शॉक सिंड्रोम्स। Here you can see the dengue fever symptoms: febrile phase, sudden onset fever, headache, mouth and nose bleeding that occurs in the hemorrhagic dengue fever, muscles and joint pains, vomiting, rashes, diarrhea. Critical phase, hypotension, pleural effusion, ascites, gastrointestinal bleeding that occurs in the severe case also. Recovery phase, altered level of the consciousness, seizures, itching and slow heart rate. Classical dengue fever, it is characterized by fever, rashes, severe headache, pain behind eye, pain in muscles and joints and enlarged lymph nodes. I have already told you how the lymph nodes will be enlarged. Fever lasts for 2 to 7 days. Myalgia, that is the muscles pain. Break bone fever is characteristics of the classical dengue fever. Classical dengue fever is self-limited. That means it can be controlled without any medication. Mostly adults and older children are affected. Dengue hemorrhagic fever, definitely the name is the hemorrhagic, that means the bleeding will occur, is marked by bleeding from the skin and mucous membrane. Dengue hemorrhagic fever has 4 major clinical manifestations, that is the high fever, hemorrhagic phenomena, hepatomegaly, that is the large size of the liver, and circulatory failure. In early stage of the infection, dengue hemorrhagic fever resembles the classical dengue fever. Usually occurs in the children. About 23% of the children with the DHF develop circulatory failure. And hemoconcentration. Hemoconcentrations means the increase in the concentration of the RBC in comparison to the plasma, and a marked decrease in platelets counts leading to the severe hemorrhage, because the numbers of platelets becomes very low and definitely the blood clotting will not occurs properly, and that's why hemorrhage will occurs. Dengue shock syndrome. Dengue shock syndrome is the serious form of the dengue hemorrhagic fever. All serotypes, that is the dengue 1, 2, 3, 4 can cause both hemorrhagic fever and shock syndrome. The cause of dengue shock syndrome is not clearly understood, but it is assumed due to the antibody dependent enhancement. Pre-existing heterologous antibody against the particular dengue serotypes bind with the new infected virus serotype by its FAB region of the and FC region of the antibody binds to the receptor on the macrophage. So this pre-existing antibody increase this virus infection to healthy macrophage. From recent outbreak, information of the dengue hemorrhagic fever, patients infected with the dengue 2 after primarily infected with the other serotypes can lead to the dengue shock syndrome. Dengue shock syndrome is characterized by circulatory failure, rapid pulse, abnormal pain, severe bleeding from gastrointestinal tract and other organ. Usually occurs in the children. So this is the most severe case of the dengue. Lab diagnosis, there are several types of the lab diagnosis are available for the detection of the dengue fever, but most of them are outdated, and nowadays the very popular and authentic techniques that are nucleic acid detection that can be carried out by using RT-PCR, reverse transcriptase PCR. You know, reverse transcriptase PCR is used here because the genetic material is the RNA, not the DNA. And other techniques are also available, but that are not so authentic in comparison to the nucleic acid detection techniques. These techniques are also uh, available, but this takes more time, and sometimes the results may vary. Treatment, no specific treatments for the dengue and no vaccines. I have already told you, early and proper diagnosis can reduce symptoms and prevent complication and death. Also, some severe case like this dengue shock syndrome and dengue hemorrhagic fever can cause the death. In the summary of the dengue fever, you can see here the symptoms like the high fever, headache, nausea, stomach ache, vomiting, muscle pain, rashes, diarrhea, and mild bleeding gums occurs. Diagnosis are available: antibody detection, antigen detection, RNA detection, and viral isolation. Treatment, there is no any treatments. Treatment for the dengue or dengue hemorrhagic fever, only symptomatic treatment is given. That is we can give the medicine to control the pain, we can give the medicine to the control the fever particularly, but we have no any medicine or vaccine that can cure the persons from dengue. So prevention is better than cure. Here also cover containers, use mosquito nets, spray to kill the mosquito, and avoid waterlogging in your area or in your home, in any utensils or pots, flower pots, and always use the fumigation to control the mosquito. Here home remedies are available that are very good, effective. Barley grass helps in increase the body's blood platelets. Golden seal gives relief from symptoms of the dengue fever. Basil leaves, tulsi leaves gives relief from the dengue fever. Neem also increasing body's blood platelets. You can see here the papaya leaves that are very demanding during that times helps to cure dengue fever because it controls the blood platelets. Orange juice helps in treating symptoms of the dengue. Fenugreek leaves helps to reduce dengue fever. Water keeps body hydrated and helps to ease symptoms like headache. Uh, some other, drink plenty of water to avoid dehydration. Papaya leaves extracts increase blood platelet counts, and acetaminophen can relieve pain and relieve from the fever, not can cure the dengue fevers. So these are about the dengue fever. Okay, thank you so much.